In Laboratory Reddit, today's story is...
My sister-in-law spread terrible rumors about me at my graduation party. 2 months later, she found out she is pregnant by another man and my brother is infertile. I am 22 years old and recently graduated from college with outstanding grades. I know it sounds presumptuous to mention it, but I worked very hard to achieve them and I am proud of my accomplishments. My parents organized a graduation celebration for me earlier this week. Everything was going perfectly until Melanie, my 28-year-old sister-in-law, decided to ruin everything by spreading nasty rumors about me. To put it in context, Melanie is married to Son, my 29-year-old older brother. They got married 4 years ago, and since then, their marriage has caused family tensions because he is completely changed. If Melanie did something so horrible, it's because we've never had a friendly relationship. She's extremely jealous of Son, but also of anyone who gets attention. And when that person is me, it's like lighting a fuse that makes Melanie explode. When I was accepted to this university 4 years ago, my parents were thrilled because it was my first choice. They organized a small gathering to celebrate. During that party, Melanie suddenly announced that she and Son were trying to have a baby. She couldn't stand that she got any attention at all. My parents were also happy about her announcement, but they clearly noticed what Melanie was up to. Over the years, whenever there was a celebration for me, such as a birthday, academic achievement, or anything else, Melanie always had something to say. She would either create drama or make an announcement. Once, during my birthday dinner, she started crying because she wasn't pregnant yet. On another occasion, when I made it onto the dean's list, she announced that they would start the in vitro fertilization process. She constantly turned everything into something about her. I've already mentioned it, but I want to make it clear, considering what I'm about to say, that I worked incredibly hard during university. I wasn't a brilliant student in secondary school, just average, but at university, I was determined to stand out because I really enjoyed what I studied. I spent countless nights studying, researching, and developing projects. My senior year professor, Mr. Briggs, was very important to me because he constantly helped me improve. Mr. Briggs is one of the most respected teachers in our department. He has been teaching for 15 years and has helped numerous students achieve their goals because he is not one of those teachers who simply teach, but rather he cares about students having ambition, striving, and developing their full potential. He is happily married with 2 children, and his wife frequently visits our part of campus for various events. He became my mentor and thesis advisor. He guided me through difficult academic moments when I was exhausted from so much effort, and he helped me understand complex subjects by taking the time to explain them to me personally during his office hours. Our relationship was exclusively professional and mentoring. At my graduation party yesterday, everything started well. My parents had invited family members, friends of the family, and some of my university classmates. They had organized everything beautifully, with good food, elegant decorations, and a small ceremony where they wanted to give a speech about my career. My parents are a bit sentimental, but I didn't mind because I was happy. About an hour into the party, my aunt took me aside. She seemed worried and informed me that Melanie had been going around the party telling various guests that I had only obtained good grades because I was having an inappropriate relationship with Mr. Briggs. My aunt told me that Melanie had been spreading this rumor for the last hour, relating how I used to visit his office frequently and stay late. I did indeed visit his office frequently, but that was because he was my thesis advisor. Many other students did the same. I was not the only one this professor helped. I stayed late because I was working on important research projects. We had very strict deadlines, and sometimes the work would extend into the night. But Melanie distorted everything to make it seem inappropriate. My aunt told me that Melanie had been very specific in her gossip. She told people how I dressed properly when I went to university, which I always did in a professional manner. She mentioned how I talked about Mr. Briggs and his guidance, because he was my mentor and he helped me enormously. She even pointed out how my grades improved markedly in college compared to high school, because I really worked very hard. I immediately informed my parents. They were outraged. My mother went to talk to Melanie and my brother, telling her that what she was doing to me was terrible. Melanie tried to act innocent at first, claiming that she was only concerned about my reputation and that she was only sharing her observations. When my mother insisted, Melanie said that it was suspicious how much time I was spending with Mr. Briggs and how much my grades had improved. I couldn't tolerate it any longer. This day was supposed to be about me, celebrating my effort and my achievements. Instead, it became a gossip session about my character. All my hard work over the years, all those nights studying, researching, writing papers, meant nothing to Melanie. My excellent grades were the result of my dedication and effort. Mr. Briggs had been completely professional and helpful, not only to me, but to many other students. I gathered my belongings and left the party. My parents understood why I left and supported my decision. That same night, several relatives called me to assure me that they did not believe Melanie's lies. They knew my character and how hard I had worked. They had witnessed my dedication over the years. Some family members suggested that I should file a complaint against Melanie for defamation, as this could affect both my reputation and that of Mr. Briggs. His wife works at the same university in a different department, and such rumors could cause problems for her family as well. But I decided to wait and see how my parents handled this situation with my brother first. This was not the first time that Melanie had tried to ruin something for me, but it was definitely the worst. This time she crossed all the lines. I'm tired of pretending that everything is fine just to keep the family peace. I don't want to be around her anymore. She's toxic and manipulative. I feel sorry for my brother, even though he's caught between his wife and his family. But at this point, I don't care anymore. If he decides to support his wife after what she did, maybe I'm better off without both of them in my life. Update 1. After the disaster at the party, my parents finally decided to talk to Son about Melanie. Not just about the party, but about her behavior in general. They called him when Melanie was at work, hoping to have a quiet conversation about what happened at my graduation party without her hearing. As I mentioned, they didn't just discuss what happened at the party with him, but also other situations in which Melanie has been quite problematic. Situations that don't directly involve me, but problems she has had with other family members. But instead of acknowledging Melanie's bad behavior, he defended her actions. He claimed that Melanie had valid reasons for saying what she said. He mentioned things that I never imagined my own brother would use against me, such as how he frequently mentioned Mr. Briggs in conversations, how he supposedly smiled when talking about this teacher, which I do not do, and also regarding my grades. I was stunned. My brother, who had seen me study until the early hours of the morning and had witnessed my dedication, should be the one with the most evidence that I achieved everything through my own efforts. For your own brother to think the worst of you to justify something is extremely painful. My parents were also surprised and very angry with him. They had expected her to at least remain neutral, because she is his wife. But defending her and accusing me was not what they had anticipated. Mom tried to reason with him. She explained exactly the same thing that I have told here, but he refused to listen and kept insisting. He said that Melanie was only protecting the family reputation because it would hurt everyone if people found out what I was supposedly doing. According to him, people had been commenting on how much time I spent with Mr. Briggs, and Melanie was simply voicing what others were thinking. He even had the audacity to suggest that perhaps I should have been more careful about the time I spent with a teacher, that it was not appropriate for a young student to be in a teacher's office so frequently. This made me furious. Was I supposed to reject the guidance of a teacher just because he was a man? Should I have limited my academic development because of what people might think? Besides, no one at the party thought that, except my brother and his wife. The rest have spoken out in my favor throughout this whole affair, so I don't know who he means when he talks about other people. The conversation was becoming increasingly frustrating. Dad also tried to make him see reason, reminding him how he used to talk proudly about me before he married Melanie. He asked Son if he really thought his own sister would do something like this. Son's response was that people change at university, and maybe I had changed too. At that moment, Mom began to cry. She said she couldn't believe that her son could think so badly of his own sister. She reminded him how Mr. and Mrs. Briggs were respected in academic circles, and that making up stories about this could have consequences for them. but Son didn't care, and felt that they and I deserved some kind of punishment. As far as my brother was concerned, even my parents should keep me out of their lives before it was too late. What finally broke my patience was when Son said that if I were innocent, I wouldn't have left the party. According to him, my departure proved that Melanie's suspicions were correct. He completely ignored the fact that I left because I was hurt and humiliated by his wife's baseless accusations. Dad finally lost his patience. He told Son he was disappointed in him. He pointed out that he had changed since marrying Melanie, and not for the better. He asked him not to contact us until he and Melanie were ready to apologize. But I doubt Son is prepared to do that, because before hanging up, he said we were all being unfair to Melanie. According to my brother, she was already dealing with the stress of not being able to conceive, and now we were attacking her for something that wasn't her fault but mine. He claimed that I was always favored over him and Melanie, and that this situation proved it. I feel like I've lost my brother. Before he married Melanie, we were very close. He always protected me, he was always proud of me and I of him, but Melanie has completely transformed him. She has turned him against his own family with her manipulative behavior. Some family members suggested that perhaps Melanie was acting this way because of her inability to conceive. Maybe the stress was affecting her mental health, but that doesn't justify trying to ruin someone's reputation. Many people face fertility problems, but they don't go around spreading malicious rumors about others. For now, we have decided to keep our distance from both Son and Melanie. It hurts to lose my brother like this, but I can't have people in my life who don't trust me and try to damage my reputation. My parents support my decision, although I know it breaks their hearts to be estranged from their son. Update 2. 2 days ago, something happened that none of us were expecting. Melanie invited the whole family to dinner at her house. She called everyone personally and insisted that it was very important, even though relations had been strained since the incident at my graduation party, and we hadn't spoken to them in 2 months. Mom and Dad decided to attend because Melanie sounded genuinely enthusiastic. Initially, I wasn't going to go, but my parents convinced me, thinking that they were finally willing to offer me an apology. I doubted it after so long, but I went anyway to support my parents. Our uncles, aunts, and grandparents were also invited. When we arrived, Melanie had prepared a big dinner. She was unusually kind to everyone, even me. She had decorated the house with balloons, and there was a cake on the table. We were all confused about what the occasion was. After dinner, Melanie asked us to gather in the living room. She was beaming with excitement. She announced that she was finally pregnant after trying for 4 years. She expected us all to rejoice and start congratulating her, but instead of celebrating, Son got up, visibly furious. His face was red, and this seemed to surprise both us and himself. He declared that it was impossible for her to be pregnant with his child. Apparently, Son had undergone tests a few weeks ago and discovered that he was infertile. The doctor had confirmed that he could never be a father. He explained that after 4 years of trying without success, he began to suspect that something might be wrong with him. So without informing Melanie, he went to a fertility clinic and took the test. Apparently, Son was unaware of the reason for the dinner and thought it was an attempt by Melanie to reconcile with the family. Melanie turned pale. She began to stutter, trying to say that there must be some mistake in the results, but Son would not allow her to continue with the charade. He asked her directly who the father was. Melanie continued to evade the question as best she could, but when Son mentioned that he had had the tests done at 2 different clinics to be completely sure, she broke down in tears. In fact, she had only been to 1 clinic, but she said it to make her confess. Finally, Melanie admitted that she had been having a relationship with Tom, the husband of her best friend Samantha, for the last 6 months. We were all shocked. Samantha, who was also at the dinner, let out a scream and had to be held back by my brother. If you've been following my story, this was the same Melanie who had accused me of having an affair with my teacher, the same one who had shown herself to be so upright and proper, the same person who made my brother doubt the character of his own sister. But it turned out that she was the one having an extramarital affair after all. Unbelievable. And I almost didn't attend the dinner because I thought nothing good would come of it. Son asked us all to leave because he needed to talk to Melanie alone. As we were leaving, we could hear Melanie crying and begging Son to forgive her. saying that she never wanted this to happen. Samantha was being taken home by my parents because in her emotional state, it was not safe to leave her alone. She was also in no condition to drive after finding out about her husband's betrayal, who had not attended the dinner. I would feel terrible for my brother if the circumstances were different. If he hadn't defended his unfaithful wife and hadn't unjustly accused me. He hurt me by believing Melanie's lies about me and Mr. Briggs, so I think he deserved this kind of betrayal. Mom wanted to stay and talk to him, but Dad said Son needed space at that moment to process everything. Later that night, Son called our parents. He was crying and apologizing for not believing them about Melanie. He said he had been blind to her true nature all these years. He also wanted to apologize to me, but I refused to talk to him because it doesn't work like that. You can't attack your sister and then apologize when you need her. One day I am unjustly accused, and the next day she asks for my forgiveness to get back something she lost. That doesn't work for me. This whole situation has affected the whole family. Our grandparents are devastated. They went from the excitement of having a great-grandchild to discovering their granddaughter-in-law's infidelity in an instant. Samantha's family is in crisis, and Son has discovered what it means to be married to someone like Melanie, capable of talking about her own sister-in-law like that. I know I should feel sorry for what he's going through now, but mainly I feel satisfied that Melanie's true nature has been exposed. Not because my brother is finally opening his eyes, but because he deserves this for blindly trusting her. Maybe if Son had seen Melanie's true personality before, when she was spreading lies about me, things could have been different for him. It's not normal for your wife to say those things, just as it's not normal for her to cheat on you and have a child with another man. But if my brother didn't see the signs before, I don't feel sorry for him. Update 3. Son and Melanie's divorce was finalized some time ago. It didn't really take long because the same problem that caused the breakup is what simplified the process. They have no children together. During this period, which is ironic, Melanie has tried to contact our family several times, apologizing for everything, including the lies about me, but no one has responded to her. Son temporarily moved in with a friend. He is still struggling to get over Melanie's betrayal. He has been going through very difficult times, especially after discovering that Melanie had also lied about other things. Apparently, she had been taking money from their joint account to help Tom with his expenses. He has tried to apologize to me on several occasions, saying that I should have believed his sister instead of his lying wife, but when we met face to face, I told him that my brother died when he married Melanie. I'm not going to forgive him, and I hope he doesn't expect me to. The other day, when I was at our parents' house, Son completely broke down. He told them how Melanie had always been jealous of my achievements since I was accepted into university. I know he was telling them how our parents supposedly favored me. He distorted every situation to make it seem like I received special treatment. He had manipulated him so gradually that he didn't even realize when he began to doubt his own sister. Samantha, Melanie's best friend, divorced Tom after discovering their relationship. The baby was indeed Tom's, as confirmed by a paternity test. Both Tom and Melanie lost their jobs, but for different reasons. Tom, because they had had inappropriate encounters in the office. He told his boss, and both of them can be seen on the security cameras entering an office for a few minutes, while Melanie lost her job for different reasons. Karma is karma, no matter the cause. Melanie also tried to contact Samantha, but Samantha refused to speak to her. They had been best friends since college, and Melanie betrayed her in the worst possible way. Samantha moved to another city to start over. Recently, I received an excellent job offer, thanks in part to Mr. Briggs's letter of recommendation. When I told him what happened at my graduation party, he was understanding, and said that unfortunately such unfounded accusations are common in academia. Some relatives, although few, think that I should forgive Son since he is already suffering from Melanie's betrayal, but the betrayal of a partner and that of a brother are two completely different things. And before finishing, I will answer some frequently asked questions. How is my parents' current relationship with Son? Neither has completely forgiven him, or at least they are not happy with him. This is more evident with my mother than with my father, although neither of them seems to like what he did to me. My mother believes that if the pregnancy incident had not happened, he probably would never have apologized to me. It's easy for him to apologize now, because he sees that his social circle has shrunk after losing his wife, but that's it. As for the idea of suing Melanie and my brother for defamation for what happened at the party, it doesn't make much sense. Yes, I considered it for a while. I even consulted a lawyer who explained to me that although we could file a lawsuit, there was no demonstrable damage, so the compensation would be practically nil. It was just a comment made at a private party, which did not spread to other areas. These types of lawsuits are brought when the defamation is public on a large scale and causes specific damage. It affected me that my brother was so insensitive and Melanie a liar, but that would have no legal relevance. Update 4. I didn't expect to have another update on my story so soon. I thought that maybe in a few years I would have something new to tell. I would like to start by talking about my brother, as many people ask if I have forgiven him. I said I wouldn't, and I keep my word. My relationship with my parents is not very cordial either, because they have had several arguments. My brother wanted them to help him financially to buy a flat, claiming that he didn't have much money left after the divorce. My parents refused, explaining that they had already supported him through university, and that was all they were going to do for him. He accused me again of being the favorite, which resulted in them cutting off contact with him. I don't know who is advising him, but nothing he says contributes to a possible reconciliation. I moved out a couple of months ago, and I haven't even considered asking my parents for financial help. They already supported me through university, as they did my brother, and now it's time for me to go my own way. I've been asked if Melanie took the paternity test before or after the baby was born. I couldn't say for sure, but I found out after the birth, so probably then. And do you know what Melanie's proposal to my brother was? That he help her raise their child together. Tom is paying child support, and she wants my brother to move back in with her to raise the baby together. Melanie has gotten some money, but she still needs to sort out her housing situation, because her parents' house is only temporary, and she needs to find another place soon. Melanie's parents have spoken to my parents, and although they hate what has happened, she is still their daughter, and they have helped her until now. They have told her that she must find a job and move out as soon as possible. Melanie has used every possible tactic of persuasion, telling Son that he wouldn't have to spend on the child, as all the expenses would be covered by Tom. Son has replied that he would never go back to her. He remains depressed and does not seem to be recovering anytime soon. He has received too many blows lately. My theory is that time heals all wounds, but it is not being enough for him, or it is not having an effect yet. Should I feel sorry for him? Why don't I feel anything for him at the moment?